Oh, hi, little babies. It's Dr. Mitty at the election headquarters in Erie, PA. Oh, Quacky Wacky's in trouble. She's gonna go down in flames. It's gonna be a Trump landslide. Oh boy, Joe Biden, he said this. She'll be the greatest president since George Washington. She should be on Mount Rushmore. Well, the fact is, she's only 5'4". She's a shrimp. She doesn't have physical presence. She's a pretty girl. She likes to dance and laugh and party and have a good time. Oh, this was breaking news. She had one of them Diddy White parties a few years back. And she got to see the whole lay of the land, but she didn't say anything. She kept it on the down low, like Diddy. He's on the down low with them men, I think. And the women. He don't care. He just likes to party. And come on, she's a party girl. Come on, little quacky waggy. What are they here in Pennsylvania? We're so PO'd in the Biden Harris administration. They screwed everything up. They lasted up bad. Gas $3.60 a gallon. Food prices are up 25 to 30% since they came in office. Oh, they blame it on the greedy merchants. They're taking advantage of people. When those people fled Florida during the hurricanes, they headed up north. And these freaking hotels up there, these motels, cheap little joints. This wasn't even the Ritz Carlton. They're charging these people 800 a night. 800 a night. Who can afford that? You better off sleeping in your car. At least, the car's not going to get blown up in the air, if you miss the hurricane. But this whole election is amazing. I watched Joe Rogan interview Trump. 3 hour long interview. It was a great interview. And he's going to interview Vice President Vance today. And then I watched the Madison Square Garden rally. Man, that was awesome. The place holds 55,000 people. It was packed to the rafters. And there were like thousands of people waiting outside, watching his speech on the Jumbotron. And, oh, boy, it was a party down there in New York City. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump turns New York City red and they all vote for Trumpy. Trumpy was a beloved figure in his day before he got into his politics thing. And he had 12 seasons on The Apprentice. When he told the show's producers at the network that he was going to run for president, they begged him not to. They said, "Oh, I'll give you a major signing bonus. Oh, Donald, you bring in such high ratings. We're making money hand over fist. If you leave, you know, it's going to kill the golden goose. We're going to be out all that advertising revenue. We'll even give you a raise." And Trump turned it down. Those network executives weren't very happy, but too bad he got into politics. He's a great American, this guy. How can such a once beloved figure turn into Hitler, a fascist, and a Nazi? These people on the left are so unhinged. The View, they're the worst. Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi! She changed her name to be Jewish. She used to be a communist and live over in East Germany. Did you know that? She's as radical as they come. But she used to love Trumpy. Oh, Donald, it's so good to see you. Smoochy Moochy, give a hug. No, she hates him. She has Trump derangement syndrome. And, all these Hollywood celebrities, they betrayed Trump. Rob Reiner, he's the best one. He hates Trump so bad. He's funny. He ought to go back on All in the Family. A new meathead at 70 years old. He's probably pretty good. It's the meme team that did this takeoff on Sanford and Son when they had Trumpy dressed up like Fred Sanford. And Pelosi dressed up as what was his ugly cousin or his aunt's name? But those two had it out all the time. It was funny as hell. I loved that show when I was younger, and I loved the month. What an awesome show that was. You know, Freddie didn't end well, and the IRS came after him and sued him for millions of dollars. I don't know where he got all the money, but he was a very prolific comedian. A lot of stand up, released a bunch of records, and those records were hot stuff, man. He would curse left and right. And he was one funny guy. I gotta tell you that. What a character. Only in America could you come up with a comedian like Red Fox. He just pushed the envelope, and the guy was awesome. But they didn't end well. He was broke, and the IRS took everything he had. All he had left was his toothbrush and a tube of Colgate. He had to go into the soup kitchen to eat, and he had to sleep at the Salvation Army just to get out of the weather and stay warm. Oh, it wasn't that bad, but you get my meaning. But anyway, there's going to be a lot of payback for what these people put Trump through since 2016. You know, the lawfare, the spying on his campaign in 2016 by the alphabet agencies, FISA courts, trying to make a connection between him and the Russians. Russia. That's how you heard. Trump's a Russian agent. Him and Vlad. They're making secret plans to become dictators and rule the world. But, now they're telling you that Trump wants to lock up pregnant women and, so they don't have abortions. That's what they're trying to tell you. Trump hates gays and transgenders. The thing about the whole, oh boy, what do you call it? The pronoun crowd. They're so full of it. I'll just leave it at that. These people are right out of left field, right out of central casting. Make a comedy movie on these people. The woke crowd. I'm so woke. Hey, any good jokes? I really don't want to insult anybody. But I tell you, Trump is kicking butt. Americans are so angry at what the Democrats have done here. And not only going after Trump, but what they've done to this country. Wide open border, letting 20 million illegal aliens in. Didn't vet them. Didn't get their photographs. Didn't get their fingerprints. Didn't get their DNA. Throw them into the country. The social system, the social welfare system is taxed beyond capacity. Now, how are these people getting thousands of dollars in food stamps? $5,000 a month to cover their hotel room. They're living in nice hotels in New York City. And residents in places like Springfield, Ohio, and Texas, and Denver, and all over where they intersperse these people. They're living large. And landlords are kicking out their good tenants just so they can get the immigrants in because the reimbursement by the government is so big, I want to make them rich in 2 years. They can pay off the building. But it's the capitalist way. But I don't think that your tax dollars should be paying to support these people who enter the country illegally. I'm all for deporting these, especially start with the freaking criminals and the psychopaths. Get them out of here. ASAP. Last year, Biden-Harris administration has been flying these people in from Central and South America right into the country. landing in the middle of the night, load them up on buses, and then take them to these hotels where these government workers are there waiting to issue them uh, food stamp cards, debit cards preloaded with cash, give them a place to stay. They bring gift boxes of food and clothing to them. Oh boy, they're getting a royal treatment. I wish somebody would treat me like that. Give me a prepaid debit card, a fat balance on a snap card. You know, people are sick of it. They're being treated better than the Americans. And these idiots are in the White House and Blinken in the State Department. Oh, we're gonna go to war with Russia. Oh, the Ukraine, we gotta back Ukraine. Ukraine has got their ass kicked, I'm sorry to say. They've lost over 550,000 people fighting in that war. Russia has lost close to 500,000 people. It's been a meat grinder. Over 1 million people because of U.S. foreign policy where they overthrew the democratically elected government in Ukraine and installed a puppet government just so they could go to war with Russia. Sure, Vlad invaded. But instead of saying, hey, we gotta stop this nipping in the bud, let's work things out, pal, they just armed Ukraine to the teeth. Billions and billions in aid. I mean, we're paying for the government, the pensions, and we're shipping them food, we're shipping them ammo. These oligarchs they're pocketing billions. The U.S. sends them a pile of cash and says, here, boys, divvy it up among yourselves and be happy because you're helping us out here in the U.S. Fight Russia. Now, I get a kick out of North Korea sending a bunch of troops up to into Russia to get trained and go into the Ukraine. Tell these North Koreans the best thing ever happened to them was leaving that country. I doubt if any of them will go back there. Who wants to go live in North Korea? The place is a freaking hell. They're starving. The people, the growth is stunted. They're all 4'6" because they don't have the nutrition. They're eating grass and bark and they're eating wallpaper that they scrape off the walls and boil it. And I guess the glue on the wallpaper gives them some sort of sustenance. But North Korea is an evil regime. And it's really bad over there. So I doubt if any of these troops that North Korea sent over to Russia are going to come back. Hell, it'd be good if once they get their freedom, and get a taste of freedom. They ain't going back. That sick puppy over there, Kim Jong-un, whatever his name is, he's grooming his sister to be the new dictator. It's a family dynasty. So, I mean, people are bad news. They cut themselves from the outside world. They're building a bunch of nuclear bombs. They want to attack the United States, or maybe South Korea, maybe Japan. But I tell you, if they launch one of those babies, we're going to effing vaporize them. It's be a bad scene. Feel sorry for the North Koreans because they won't know what hit them. It'll all be over in 75 minutes. Well, this whole election thing is getting down to the wire here. And there's a YouTube channel called Election Time. The guy's done a wonderful job on updating all the movements towards the Trump camp. What the Democrats and Mayorkas did between letting 20 million illegal immigrants and invaders from all over the world into different countries into the country without knowing who they are, what their background was, nothing. And then look at the response to the natural disasters with the hurricanes. I mean, Mayorkas, he's crying poor mouth. He said, "We spent all the money on the foreign invaders. We don't have any money to help the people in eastern Tennessee and western North Carolina because, we just gave them all Happy Meals and put them up in nice hotels in New York and Denver." These people are fucking pathetic. Excuse my French. But I'm sick of these people, you know, getting away with it and then excusing away their behavior. It's bad. The national debt's 37 trillion, and at the rate we're going, we're adding about $1 trillion to the deficit every 6 to 8 weeks. Imagine that. In a year, they're going to add another $4 trillion to debt. And it's just unsustainable. The interest payment on the debt's about a quarter of what we take in U.S. revenue. And, something's got to pop, man. That's what kills you when you get in debt is the interest rate and the amount of, the debt load you have. If you get a big debt load and the interest rates aren't favorable, the interest is going to eat you alive and you'll never get out of debt. What's going on right now? You got this huge debt load. And even though the interest is like 4 or 5% on trillions of dollars, that's so many hundreds of billions of dollars in interest. I think the interest for this past year is about $1 trillion on 37 trillion in debt. So something's going to happen. But they get the tariffs in there Trump was talking about. Get the economy humming again so people are working and paying taxes. And, it's either build it here in America or we're going to tariff you out of the market. We don't want your products unless you come here and build factories and hire Americans. I think it's an awesome thing. It's bad, though. We're in deep doo-doo. Now, listen, Hunter Biden gets sentenced in December. He has a gun charge and tax charges that he pled guilty to. He stuffed the government for $1.5 million. They don't look too kindly on that. He's charging his online porno memberships. Telling his account to deduct them as a business expense. He's trying to deduct the hookers he hired. And anything else, probably trying to deduct the crack cocaine he purchased. But this guy is a sod. He's a... Oh boy, talking about sowing wild oats. This guy is sunk to the depths of depravity. And there's, no salvation for his soul. He signed up with the devil. And, now it's reckoning day. Hope they get him good. But this whole thing about Jack Smith still going over after Trump. He's got a friendly judge in Washington, D.C. And they're going to try to railroad him in. But when Trump gets elected, he'll just stop the investigation. Hell, he'll pardon himself if he has to. But what really gets me going is this Letitia James and Fannie Willis. Letitia James in particular, and that crooked judge of hers, Arthur Engeron. They just conspired to railroad Trump bankrupt him. They charge him $500 million as a fine. Otherwise, Letitia was going to go seize all his property in New York City and turn him into a pauper. Ain't right. But The case is in front of the New York appeals court, and it's likely to get reversed. It's going to go right back to her and smack her in the face and smack that stupid judge, Arthur Endergard, in his face, too. I wouldn't be surprised if disciplinary charges are filed against both of them. And they're going to be sanctioned hard. Who knows? They could get disbarred. You know, it's a malicious prosecution, is what they did to him. It was a private business transaction by sophisticated people. And they're trying to make it out to be like, oh, we're protecting consumers. Oh, because Trump got favorable interest rates. And they put his property up as collateral. And the loan was paid back in full with interest. But I hope James goes down and that Fannie Wills and her lying boyfriend. She's a liar too, you know. These Southern belles, they lie. She'll be going to her cotillion at the black church saying, look, I'm so innocent. I might have had an affair. I might have kept all that money in my apartment in my suitcase like Daddy told me. But I love God and praise Jesus. Oh, the congregation of black churches are going, oh, Fanny, we love you. Praise Jesus. Well, she's what do you call it, morally bankrupt. Well, you get the idea. When Trump is back in office and he assumes power, this country is going to be kicking ass. We got to shake things up bad. Elon Musk wants to run the Government Accountability Office. He's looking up and down for fraud, waste, abuse. They're going to lay off all kinds of bureaucrats. They're going to cut it down to skeleton crews. And he's got to go after the Justice Department and the FBI, the CIA, the NSA. Rein these folks in because they've gone off the rails. And they're going to have to be held accountable. That's all there is to it. ARS are going to be working with new tax laws and rules and regulations because what they have in place right now, and they hired 80,000 agents to go harass people to get, let's say you've made a bad deduction. Oh, there's an extra 1,000 you owe us. If you don't pay it, we'll take you to court and get a judgment, then we seize your bank account. I mean, Americans don't have time for that. They're too busy working. But there's going to be a big transpiration. It's all transpiring. You know what I mean? In the military, we got a bunch of woke military. And there, you know, we get transgenders and the he, she, you know, the gay people down there. You know, they want to all be happy. You look at me, I'm a sergeant in the military and I'm gay. My name is Fred. I used to be a woman. Oh, God. And they need to bring back discipline or to spirit the core in the service and get it back down to where it used to be, whether it was discipline, fighting force, highly trained, highly motivated. And I think Trump's going to take a big first step in getting that done. But we're going to vote for Trump. I mailed my ballot in yesterday. And it's going to be a bloodbath for Harris. Harris is a vapid, empty suit full of pontifications and rehearsed talking points. Trump has a point that he's unable to, he doesn't have to use a teleprompter. He speaks extemporaneously, sometimes 3 hours. Harris, she couldn't stand 5 minutes thinking on her feet. She needs them cue cards and the teleprompter, and she wears an earpiece so her handlers can tell her what to say. You better say this. Vice President Harris, if you want to get elected, you listen to what we say. But no one mind calls Americans garbage. Half of Americans garbage. When they associate red-blooded Americans with Hitler Youth and white supremacists, and it's so far from the truth. Even the brothers know that most of us Americans are good guys, and we get along fine with them. You ever talk to a brother, just sit down and shoot the breeze with them for 10 minutes? They're cool guys, man. A lot of them are hard-working family men. They're not out robbing and stealing, no matter what these idiots portray black people to be. They're good people. They're the same with the Hispanics and the Orientals. I mean, everybody just wants to live and let live. There's nothing wrong with that, but you can't condemn Trump supporters because it's is something that got implanted in your mind and turned you into a full-fledged deranged Trump hater. Trump derangement syndrome. He's been simmering for the last 8 years. And, when Trump gets elected, I wasn't surprised if they had they all jump off a cliff like little lemmings. Oh, Trump always been bad. Maybe a giant shark will, jump up and bite him in the butt while they're walking down the pier. Who knows? But this is a very exciting election, the most important election in the history of our country. Because we got somebody who cares about America, cares about the American people, and if you don't vote for Trump, then I ain't white. But anyway, that's all I got. That's the pre-election analysis from the Dr. Trump headquarters in Erie, PA. It's been a beautiful fall here. Weather's perfect. Leaves are changing. And it's been outstanding. Well, listen, I'm going to go because I'm wasted tired. I got to get some Z's in before I continue my day. I need about 4 more hours sleep and I'll be good. Well, I leave you with this good word. When you see somebody, smile at them. Wink at them. Say, you're terrific. And would you do me a favor before you go? Stay awesome. Well, this is Dr. Matey. I love you because you love me. Bye-bye.